They blocked the Brooklyn Bridge and shut down several subway lines. That all came despite a preliminary injunction banning the demonstration, which they ignored.
Demonstrators arrived an hour early at Borough Hall Park in Brooklyn for the protest. Organizers had called for everyone in New York City to join what they billed as a day of outrage, a massive exercise in civil disobedience. But only some 600 people turned out.
There were a number of young blacks in the march, but also many middle-aged men and women, people who remember the civil rights struggles of 2 decades ago.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice!
Many of the rallying cries were reminiscent of that era. Just as the rush hour was starting to build, the Reverend Al Sharpton led the demonstrators through the streets of Brooklyn, keeping police and a horde of media guessing before they stopped at the Brooklyn War Memorial. There they broke into 3 groups. One headed toward the Brooklyn Bridge, where they stopped eastbound traffic, backing it up to the East 20s on FDR Drive in Manhattan. At the J Street station, 200 demonstrators climbed onto the tracks. Power had to be turned off. Some commuters sympathized with the protesters, but others were obviously angered. Sharpton and the other leaders headed for the Borough Hall station on the IRT below the municipal building. Police say that some protesters pulled emergency cords on several trains, while others held the doors open. As he waited to be arrested, the Reverend Sharpton denied that the low turnout was a defeat.
Some people say that the turnout in the march was disappointing today.
This is not a march, this is civil disobedience. Martin Luther King never brought 1,000 people ready to go to jail. This is an overwhelming number to go to jail. No farce in the history of this city ever put these many people in the streets ready to go to jail.
Despite the restraining order, police officials I talked with, who prefer to remain anonymous, said that unless there is an incident, there will be no arrests.
That incident finally came when Sharpton and others climbed onto the tracks and refused to leave. They were arrested, handcuffed, and led onto a police bus.
The people that arrested the people that were false, that made the false arrests, the people are free. Now we're handcuffed.
What's the charge?